Whenever you're playing a fighting game, I bet you never stop to think, just how are these two characters making it so convincing that they're punching each other in the face? I mean, they're just 3D models that exist in some computer, right?
Yeah.
It's very easy to overlook just how much work goes into making these attacks. Some games make their attacks feel satisfying to land, while others can leave you scratching your head going, I can't believe that actually hit me.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
Hitboxes are what turns simple animations in a fighting game into attacks. We're going to break down how to make our own hitboxes using the incredibly powerful game engine, Dreams. So the first thing you're going to want to do is create a punch animation. If you want a more in-depth explanation on how to do animations, you should check out some of my older videos on the subject. As you can see, if I try using this attack right now on the opponent, it doesn't do anything. This is where we create our hitbox. In order to create a hitbox, we're going to need a gadget from the movers and output section. That gadget is the health modifier. Try not to confuse it with the health manager. The health modifier is going to allow us to take away health from the opponent. We're going to snap it into the timeline and throw it right underneath the keyframe that's throwing the punch. When we open up the settings, there's only a few things in here that we're going to really need to modify. The first thing that we're going to modify is the zone. Whatever's in this zone is going to be affected by the health modifier. To make this more consistent with a punch, we're going to just turn this zone into a cube. Then we're going to just slowly shrink this cube down around the punch so that it's more consistent. We don't want to be punching our opponent from halfway across the ring. Now we're going to modify exactly how much damage this attack is going to do. We don't want it to do minus 100, that would just immediately knock the person out. It's entirely up to you how much damage you want this attack to do, but for the sake of this tutorial, we're just going to make it -5. Now that we got that out of the way, we need to tell the health modifier what it needs to be taking health away from. To do this, we're going to be going into the labels tab and modifying these settings. As you can see, these are all the labels that the health modifier is looking for. We only needed to find one, our opponent. If this all looks confusing, don't worry, I'll be able to help you out here. These are just nicknames for certain objects in the scene. Our character, for example, is labeled as friend. Because one of the labels that the health modifier is looking for is friend, it's going to actually affect our character, so we don't want that. We'll turn off all of these labels and instead turn on the foe label. This will be what our opponent will be labeled later. This is a puppet's tweak menu. You can go into it by hovering over a puppet and pressing L1 and square. To open this menu, you're going to have to go all the way to the right side of the tweak menus tab and click the labels icon. From here, you can change the label to be whatever you want it to be. Friend, foe, scenery, object, whatever you like. Just make sure that the health modifier isn't looking for your puppet's label, or else the puppet will hurt itself when it's attacking. Now it's just a matter of going into this puppet and changing its label to foe. Now we can see that when we attack, our opponent's health on the top is beginning to drop. But we're still not done here. The last thing we're going to need to make is a hit reaction. It's the animation that will play when the opponent gets hit. I've already made the animation beforehand, so all that's left really is to make the logic. The two gadgets that we're going to need are called a tag and a trigger zone. We're going to be using this trigger zone to create a hurt box. Make sure that both the trigger zone and the timeline housing the animation are both hooked up like this. When you open up the gadget's tweak menu, the only thing you're going to be changing are the things to detect and the name of that thing. The thing we're going to be detecting is a tag. We're going to name that tag JabP1. So make sure your trigger zone menu looks just like this one. Now we're going to arrange this hurt box around the character. This will be the zone that will be detecting the tag we just named. If the tag comes into contact with this area, the animation is going to start playing. The last thing that we're going to do is put our tag in the timeline where our animation is. I've already named it JabP1. This is the tag our hurt box will be looking for. Now all that's left is to arrange the reticle that represents our tag right where the attack is. We're going to place it just right on the top of the fist. Now when we play time and try it out, this is what our attack will look like. And that's pretty much all you need to know about making a fighting game hitbox. If you're really enjoying the content so far, make sure you subscribe and also hit the bell so that you're notified whenever I upload a new video. With that being said, I'll catch you next time. Peace.